Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today, this video is going to be about the recent game issues, but more importantly, a developer, a Gems of War dev, actually spoke out on the forums and explained some of the bugs recently and what they were going to, do to either compensate or fix or whatever, all this stuff in the game, or some of it. They didn't mention every single thing, but it was nice to see, like, them addressing some of the issues in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know about that. And yeah, let's get going. So, the thing that had been going on in the forums recently is a lot of people had been complaining about bugs and like compensation and them bait switching and all kinds of stuff like that. There was consumer alerts and all this stuff, Weaver Gate. There's been so many bugs recently. I was going to make a whole video just about the bugs, but then this happened, so I thought it was more important to focus on the positive, I guess, kind of. And but yeah, finally a different developer came onto the forums after the other ones. You know how we used to have Salty, right? She was the Gems of War community manager. So she would come on the forum. She wasn't the best, but she was pretty good as far as that goes. Like her streaming, I wasn't so in love with. It was kind of cringe. But on the forum, like doing her main job, she was pretty good. And she decided to leave the company, I guess. And so Jetto and Kafka had to step in, I guess. And they at first were okay, and eventually they kind of it seemed like they got fed up and they just stopped answering on the forums, and it became a ghost town, and they just weren't like bugs would pop up and they wouldn't say anything about it. They would forget to put out the weekly, you know, preview or whatever they do on there, where they just tell you what's going on, and they just weren't answering, and they were even snapping back at people. So eventually they were like, we're not even going to answer if you guys are going to be like this. So we had this other developer named Nimhane come onto the forum and explain a few of the bugs in the game and how they're going to fix it and what's going on and why there's bugs and all that kind of stuff in kind of a coherent and positive way, and everybody reacted positively to it. So, and they said they're going to continue to do this going forward, but who knows? But let's just enjoy it for now. But here we go. In the background here, I'm just playing the game later in the day on Saturday, getting the rest of my crowns, like finishing up my campaign. Since they finally fixed the campaign, I decided to finish it up. And I don't know, just game stuff. You'll see. But all right, here is Nimhane. The name of the thread is recent game issues. It says, hello adventurers, we wanted to discuss some of the recent issues, keep you updated on what their status is, and give a little insight about what's been going on for those who are interested. As many of you may remember, we use the MongoDB database to run Gems of War. Like all technical solutions, it has pros and cons, but overall has served the game well. After 7 years, we have many millions of accounts in MongoDB, and while databases can handle this volume of accounts, it does mean there are some technical issues that we need to solve before they become a larger problem. Some of the tricky technical problems that we faced in the last 2 months have stemmed from optimizations we're making to MongoDB. Some of our veteran players will remember our MongoDB issues in the past that led to the creation of the troop Mongo and his spell random crash at the time. We've got it under control, but it's providing a bit of a bumpy road while we make sure this game is healthy for many years to come. So just right there, they're trying to say like Mongo database has always been a problem, and that's why they made that troop Mongo with random crash. And they're just saying like the stuff happening now, it's not a new thing. Like this has happened before, and they made a whole troop even, called, Mongo that does a random crash spell, which is something random. So with that in mind, I wanted to address some of the recent game issues, some MongoDB related, some not, to give you the latest information on them. Number 1. Kingdom Pass Battle Crashers 20 per day instead of 10. This one was a simple bug in the server code. The daily reset for Battle Crashers was happening in 2 separate places. That is now fixed. So yeah, that bug was you were getting more than 10 Battle Crashers when you were supposed to only get 10 if you did a certain thing. Like, I don't think everybody did, but a lot of people got more than 10. And they fixed it now, it's only 10. But that was what the confusion was at the beginning of the Kingdom Pass, where people were getting more than 10. And other people were saying, no, you're only allowed to get 10. But it was a bug. Number 2, Guild Wars Defense Team Bonus Score. So this is where the Guild Wars scores were messed up a couple weeks ago. Our investigation is ongoing here. However, this issue is not related to the daily reset like what was occurring with the Kingdom Pass Battlecrasher reset above. We think this is probably related to the MongoDB optimizations. We have been working on a fix for this. However, we will be delaying the next Guild Wars until next year. This allows us some time to double check the fix and look for other issues that may be related to these MongoDB optimizations. Players will notice the schedule change in-game in the next day or so. So they're just saying like the defensive points weren't being given to some players for some reason. They're going to look into it, fix it, but they're going to delay Guild Wars. We were supposed to have it next week, I think, but they're going to delay it until next year sometime while they make sure it's fixed. Missing campaign task. With the release of Nexus, we intended to run multiple Nexus weeks to expand its story in the campaign, as well as release more content for the new kingdom. Our early tests found no issues, but we noticed that campaigns had a limitation that they couldn't contain the same kingdom twice. We noticed this after the campaign has started, though. Turns out it was very tricky to fix with a live campaign, so we've sent out missing stars to everyone. Excuse me, just woke up. In the short term, we will continue to keep an eye on campaign tasks each week for the rest of the current campaign. If any more missing tasks should appear, we will be able to send out any stars that would have been earned from them. Longer term, we will ensure this does not happen again in future campaigns where we may have more than 1 week in a kingdom. So that was like the missing stars where you couldn't complete and you couldn't get the weapon and you're missing 3 stars on the bronze task. And they're saying it's because they ran the same kingdom back to back. And they're going to be able to give out stars faster next time if it happens again. So they didn't even really say that they fixed that. They just said that they can give out, if it happens again, they can give you compensation faster. Which is better than nothing, right? Alright, number 4, Born of Fire Nature ETC traits having problems at the start of turn. With the Born of Fire traits, Nature ETC traits, we missed this issue. There are some things that our tests don't always find, and timing-sensitive issues like this one are basically you have to cast a spell quickly at the start of your turn where a Born of X trait creates a match. QA often tends to actively look for problems listed in a test plan. Actually looking for stuff can cause you to miss things that require you to act very quickly. This was such a case. We have a number of different interactions happening within the puzzle game, more now that we have heroic gems, so we'll be improving our test plans to try and catch more of them. With this issue, we provided a workaround to the players who had contacted support. Wait for any Born of X traits to resolve, including gem matches, before casting a spell that targets the board. While we could have modified the trait to remove the issue, we elected to leave it in for now, as there was a workaround. It was quite a fun, unique trait for Nexus, and we had a fix for it coming in the 6.1 update releasing soon. So that one was like the traits, the Born of Fire, Nature, whatever, Light. If you did something too quickly on the board while it was still resolving that trait, it would like lock up your game or freeze your game up or something. And they're just pretty much telling you to wait. And they also mentioned that they don't test. They pretty much tell the testers what to look for, so they give them like directions on how to test, which I think is not very good. I think maybe you should do that, but also have some testers that just play the game normally. Because if you tell every single tester exactly what to look for, then you're not going to catch some things. You need to have like half of them just playing the game normally and trying to find bugs that way, and then the other half looking for stuff that you tell them to look for. So I don't know why they're like being that micromanaging, where they're telling all the testers exactly what to do. Like, I think you should have a few of them that just play the game and look for bugs that way on their own. And then, you know, you can have 75% of them looking for the stuff you think is going to be a problem. Because, I mean, that's where you're going to find most of the problems, is because you know what might be a problem, and you're telling them to look for certain things to make sure it's working, because you're thinking like, okay, this might be a problem, so I'm going to tell them to look for it. But you should also have some people that you don't tell that stuff. It's kind of like in a science experiment. You want like a You don't want to, like, you know what's going to happen. Like your hypothesis, when you test your hypothesis, blah, blah, blah. You know, you want to have like a, what's it called? Like a base or whatever, where you just a normal. So let's have some normal people that don't know what the bugs might be. And then, you know, some other people that do and look for them. That's what I think, anyway. But anyway, that was their whole post. They didn't address everything, but it was nice to see that they addressed 4 things and whatnot. They did say a couple more things, so let me go look for that real quick. Give me a second here. They like answered a couple replies, so let me find those, and I will. Let's see. Come on, man. All right, I might just pause and look for this. Hold on. Alright, so the next thing they said, someone had mentioned maybe doing a week-long vault event for compensation. And Nimhane, the developer that, you know, made this whole post, said, well, I can't do a week-long vault event. I will see what I can do. And I think that did lead to some vault event next week, which we'll get to in a second. So, did lead to something. Okay, and then here they said, thanks for reminding me about the compensation and for the suggestion of reverting the scores. They're talking about the Guild Wars. Somebody asked about the scores, like if you're in bracket 1 and you lost those points because of the bug and now you move down to bracket 2, is that fair? And then if you're in bracket 2 and you did really awesome and you moved up to bracket 1, are they going to revert scores and you're not going to move up? Like somebody is asking that question about bracket 1, bracket 2, moving up, moving down, and also the bug that may cause you to move down or up. So Nimhane said, thanks for reminding me about the compensation and for the suggesting of reverting the scores. I should have included info on that in the original post. There will definitely be compensation of some form, but we're still figuring out what is possible there at the moment. Once we have a definite answer on what we can do, we'll share that info with you all. So there's no, like, answer, but that's why they're delaying it, so they can figure stuff like that out. So that person should have, you know, just took that as that, you know? That's why they're delaying Guild Wars till the next year, so they can figure stuff like that out. Should this guild move down? Should this guild move up? Based on, like, did they have bugs? I don't know. I think they should just keep it the same and, like, wipe that whole Guild Wars out of there, but that would not be fair to the Guild Wars 2 bracket. It would not be fair to people moving up a bracket. It doesn't matter which bracket. I keep saying, like, bracket 1 and bracket 2 because that's the most important, but let me see if I can find anything else from this developer. I know there's at least one more thing that was interesting. So give me a moment here. If I take too long, I will just pause. But I also don't want to... Yeah, I'll just pause. Alright, here we go. Nimhane says, hello, adventurers. This is 1 day ago. The first thing was 2 days ago. This is 1 day ago. Hello, adventurers. Just a short update. I have good news that we will be setting up a 3-day Gnome Vault event to run Tuesday through Thursday next week. We will also be running a special adventure board each day for the full week, starting after weekly reset. Is this the Guild Wars Defense Team score compensation? Not entirely. This is mainly something we wanted to do since we had to delay Guild Wars. We do plan to send out a global mail with some compensation once the final decision has been reached here. We are still looking into what is possible and discussing the different options that we have going forward. So, basically, they're going to give us a 3-day, middle of the week, Tuesday to Thursday vault event to compensate people for the Guild Wars scores not being right. So, next week, Tuesday, we get a vault event. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Not ideal, because I know a lot of y'all work, but it's better than nothing, right? I mean, you can play at night, get some vault keys that you wouldn't have got otherwise. Instead of playing Guild Wars, like, we get a vault event instead of Guild Wars. So, just be happy about that. Alright, let me see if there's anything else. If not, I'll say my goodbyes, and maybe we'll wrap it up, talk about it before we get out of here. That's about it. I just saw the grossest name on the forum. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. But, yeah. That is the update. That is the Gems of War developers speaking out on the recent bugs in the game, giving some explanation on some of the bugs, which is nice. At least we know there's somebody that can speak to us without, throwing a fit or running away in a coherent fashion. That actually, it's helpful, and we got compensated a little bit. We got an explanation on some of it, which is a good start. I reserve the right, if this does not continue, to not be satisfied with this. But if it does continue and this same developer keeps on coming onto the forum and explaining things, maybe once a week, I'm not asking for them to be there every day. I know the forums is kind of hard to deal with sometimes, but once a week, maybe address some issues. Not I know once a week they put out like the update and they the scoring for the world event. Other than that, like maybe on Fridays put out like a just let us know what's going on with the bugs or the next patch or something like that. Maybe just a Q&A. Why don't they have a Q&A where we can ask them questions? Like, something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know. I know not all of you go on the forums. I know all of y'all don't watch the other trashy channels, and you might not have heard about any of this stuff. So go check it out if you want to on the Gems of War forums. But the main thing is the Guild Wars. They talked about that. They talked about the Born of X traits. I'm gonna have to go back up to reiterate here. The Kingdom Press Battle Crashers doing more than 10. The Guild Wars defense team bonus score, the missing campaign task with the stars, and the Born of Fire. I think the most of the problems were having to do with the Mongo database and like doing the same kingdom back-to-back weeks. That seems to be why they had so much trouble. But I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Put it in the comments. Also, like, share, subscribe. Consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your guild about the channel, comment below, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.